Hello, Southwest Florida. This is Lee Pitts from Lee Pitts Live on Fox 4. Where is Lee Pitts Live today? He's at the American Legion, Post 192, for the birthday man, Willie Battle, the legendary Willie Battle, civil rights activist, and many other accolades to his name, but he's a pillar in the Southwest Florida community and certainly a legend in Fort Myers and Dunbar. He's having a party here tonight. People starting to file in. I have the pleasure of serving as the master ceremony. We get a chance to talk to some of Willie's friends who have come out to pay tribute to their good friend. I have a gentleman here who's a friend of Willie. Let's get your name.
My name is Jack Harwood. I live in Sarasota. I've come for the party tonight. I've known Willie for 40 years. I met him when I first came to Fort Myers in 1977.
How did you meet Willie? What put you two together?
I had just come to a new job for the old Lee County Bank. You may remember that bank building down at the foot of the big bridge in downtown. Willie came into the bank. I was a commercial loan officer. I made business loans. Willie came into the bank one day, and he was had on his painter's pants and his shirt with paint on it and paint on his work shoes. And
in his early days.
That's in his early days. It's 40 years ago, 1977. And he came into my office and sat down and we talked a little bit. And what can I do for you, Mr. Battle? He said, well, I need to get a loan. I said, okay. And we talked a little bit. He had located a property that had a burned down apartment building on it, 8 units. He wanted to buy that property. It was very inexpensive, but he needed a loan to buy it, and then he was going to fix it up. And he had tenants all lined up for those 8 apartments. So we talked a little more. He had
did your little cash flow analysis. Just for your information, I'm a former bank vice president at Wells Fargo Bank corporate lending, and I know I worked across the street years later at what became that First Union Bank, and then went on to become. They moved it across the street again, but I was right over there. It was right across from where you're talking about under the bridge.
Under the bridge.
That was when I came down. I think it was it First Florida Bank?
Yeah, this is even before First Florida Bank.
Okay.
And so anyway, Willie had his financial statement with him, and we talked about his financial statement. He didn't have any debts. He didn't owe anybody anything. He owned another apartment building and a couple of houses that he had built all by himself.
Had that equity.
He had plenty of equity. And so I said, I had my secretary do a credit report, and sure enough, he didn't have any credit at all. He never borrowed any money. He didn't owe anybody anything. So I said, okay, you got your car here? Now, well, that was kind of a stupid question, because how else would he have got there? You know, he didn't walk. But anyway, he said yes. I said, all right, you got some time? He said, yes. I said, I want to go see the property. He said, what do you mean? I said, you want to borrow some money to buy a property? I want to see the property. So we got in his car. And you know, you can tell a lot by a person just by his car. I said, not whether it's a fancy car or not, whether I got in his car, and it's the neatest, cleanest car. Right away I knew this is a guy who takes care of his property, you know, takes care of his possessions. So anyway, we drove.
Wonderful story.
We drove over to the apartment building that was all burned out. It was in Dunbar. I don't remember what street it was on, but I was pretty new in Fort Myers. I didn't know my way around Dunbar anyway. And I had on my 3-piece suit and my wingtip shoes, and so I got out of the car. I wanted to go look at this. He said, you're going to get your suit dirty in there. I said, Willie, I want to see the property. This is what you want to buy. I need to know what you're buying. So he said, okay. So we looked around there, and there were a couple people standing around looking at this white boy coming around Dunbar in this burned down building. What the heck is he doing there? And so we looked at that, and I said, okay. I said, now show me the apartment building that you own, that you built by yourself. And I don't remember if it was 8 units or 12 or 20. He had an apartment building he had built, and it was all occupied. So we drove over to that a couple blocks away. And it was neat as a pin. There wasn't any trash around. It was beautifully painted. There wasn't a crack in the wall. Nothing.
Okay, so essentially, I got to get to this. Essentially, you ended up making a loan to Willie, and that was the beginning of the Willie battle that we know that became the great developers. Speak to that.
That is correct. And so Willie and I began a 40-year relationship. But you know, one of the interesting stories about, Willie paid off his loan right on time, in fact, probably ahead of time, and he called me one day and said, you want to have lunch with me? I said, sure, Willie. And Willie liked to go to lunch with me because I always paid. But anyway, so we went to lunch. We had lunch at some restaurant in Dunbar. There's no bad restaurants in Dunbar. It was a good lunch. And we chatted a little bit, and at one point, kind of quiet, and he looked at me. He said, why did you loan me that money? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I went to every bank in town, and no bank in town would loan money to a black man. I said, what? He said, yeah, I went to every bank in town, and nobody would loan money to a black man.
Isn't that something?
I said, Willie, you never told me you were black.
That's the story. You guys have been friends since then?
We've been friends since then, and we talk on...
you did multiple loans after that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, we made many loans, and Willie and I, we had lots of lunches because I always paid. But, the bank paid this.
What a story.
We had a wonderful time together. Willie and Willie's son came and played with my son in our yard in Fort Myers, and we did all kind of things. I went to every event his family had, I was there.
Well, I want you to look into that camera. Willie's going to see this. Say something to Willie as it relates to his birthday and your friendship. Take about 30 seconds.
Willie, I am honored to be your friend and your brother, and I wish you a very happy 75th birthday and many, many more.
That is one for the ages.
Thank you, Mr. Pitts.
We'll be right back.
Pleasure to meet you.
Same here.